So, good day everyone. Our lesson for this week is about the entrepreneurial process. So, previously we have discussed who is an entrepreneur, what is entrepreneurship, why is it important not only to the community but also to the economy. Let's start. What is the entrepreneurial process? Okay, what are the stages that an entrepreneur is undertaking for him or her to be called an entrepreneur? Okay, so the entrepreneurial process stages that needs to happen to start a business is not easy for anyone. Many people have reasons to be an entrepreneur. Many say the things that should be done, and a few are the ones who really do what is needed to start. It is very common to see people who think, but a few who act. The entrepreneurial process stages can be developed one step at a time, but some entrepreneurs are the ones who continue on this lifestyle. So here, it is being said that not all are entrepreneurs because everyone, all of the population can think of great ideas, can think of uh, good products or service that can be offered. However, only a few of them acted on the idea or responded to the call of to be an entrepreneur, especially to us Filipinos, because the Filipinos as what I have said previously, has an employee mindset. But silingon, ang common nga mindset sa Pinoy is magskwela para makapangita sang obra para mabuhi. Okay? There is no really a fixed option na pupunta sa negosyo. Whereas sa Chinese is nag-eskwela para makatuon sa mga basics, especially basic arithmetic, basic accounting or bookkeeping, basic management skills in order for them to manage their business. Okay? So can you see the difference now? So here, it needs someone who will act to his idea or to the idea of being an entrepreneur. Because everyone can have the idea of what products or service to offer, but not everyone will uh, consider it doing, di ba? The entrepreneurial culture and spirit is on those who decide to take one step ahead to achieve success. It is a long term process that visionaries will have to keep on working to transform their environment. There are several models created by academics or the academies that shows what is the entrepreneurial process about. Okay? So again, it is already being an entrepreneur is a lifestyle because unlike an employee, an entrepreneur is giving more than the required hours, effort, ideas, and so on and so forth. Unlike to an employee that is only required uh, to be on duty from 8 to 5 or 9 to 6 or whatever time frame they have in every organization. But an entrepreneur sometimes do 24 hours of effort per day in order for his or her business to succeed because he knows that whatever outcome the business or the venture will have will greatly affect his or her economic life, di ba? Kasi kung malugi ang negosyo or malugi ang ipatindog niya, then basically he will also have a financial burden. Okay, so that's the difference. So let's define entrepreneurial process. The entrepreneurial process is a set of stages and events that follow one another. These entrepreneurial process stages are the idea or conception of the business, the event that triggers the operations, implementation, and growth. A critical factor that drives the development of the business at each stage, as with most human behavior, entrepreneurial traits are shaped by personal attributes and environment. So again, from the word or from the term itself, process. it's a step by step, di ba? Pasunod siya. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and so on and so forth. Here, we define or we enumerated 4 entrepreneurial process stages. Yung idea or conception of the business, event na nag-trigger para mag-start ng business, the implementation, and of course, the growth. Again, these factors or these stages are greatly affected by the different factors of, let's say, the environment. The environment that the entrepreneur have, di ba? Greatly competitive ba or medyo lax? Ang area ba niya is medyo may financial capacity or not, and so on and so forth. So a lot of these factors affects each of the stages. Okay, so we will be talking about the stages one by one. So here are the entrepreneurial process stages. Number 1 is idea generation. If you will be reading in the PowerPoint presentation, there are some grammatical errors, but I still use it because maganda, simple yung pagre-relay niya ng information, although may grammar errors, but maintindihan naman siya. At saka maganda kasi yung flow ng idea na ginataya. So again, let's go back. The first one is idea generation. The entrepreneur begins to wonder why there is not available a product or service, why not improve certain things, how to generate income to cover their expenses, and etc. Thousands of questions might rise, so they will help to identify opportunities to meet the market needs. In previous years, there were not enough amount of goods and services. It was a little bit easier to position a business. However, now it requires a search of information and market analysis to see the possibility of success. It is possible that at this point in the entrepreneurial process, there are many people since the generation of ideas can be much easier. However, the step towards a decision making is where many can stop and perhaps even abandon the idea from starting a business. So of course, any venture, any business needs first to have an idea. Diba? Hindi naman siya nga automatic, gusto ko mag-negosyo, may alam sa negosyo. Ano klaseng nga negosyo? Product, mag-offer ka sa products or some goods, or mag-offer ka sa service. Diba? Nga, ano nga, kung product, ano nga product? Kung service, ano nga service? Diba? Of course, you need to understand first your market. Kaya nga may sinasabi dyan ng market analysis. We need to define or we need to enumerate the different problems the society have. And with those problems, we think of solutions that we can offer to the public in order to solve the problem and of course in order for the market to purchase or avail our products. Diba? Ganun naman yan eh. Each business offers a solution to the consumer's problem. Ano ang silingon sila? Example, nagutom ang tao. Diba? So, syempre, bakal siya sa pagkaon. So, ang pagkaon naging bakal niya is the solution sa problema niya na nagutom siya. Diba? That's the point. Yung parang the product or ang i-offer ng product or serve product sa community is the solution that can solve their problem. So, for example, layo ang area, tago siya, so budlayan sila sa limpyo nga tubig. So, ang ginhimo mo is nagbutang ka sa water refilling station. So, that's the idea generation. Kung you will be analyzing the market, you will be thinking of the problems the community have, and then with those problems, you identify one na doon ka magfo-focus, and then mag-iisip ka kung ano yung possible solutions na kaya mo i-offer sa market or sa community that can solve their problem. Okay? So that's idea generation. Second is decision-making and business planning. A critical point in the entrepreneurial process is deciding to start the project. Be active and stay motivated are the main factors for the entrepreneur to start landing his idea. Asking what resources are needed and where he will get them is vital to generate at least one way forward for the entrepreneur. The development of the business plan will mark only a guide that can be used as reference. So dito, actually sa number 2, dito maraming hindi na pumapasok sa number 2. Di ba ginamba kanina that only a few acted on the call to be an entrepreneur because a lot of people, thousands or even millions of people are only until here sa stage 1, which is idea generation. Pero when it needs to be applied already, yung idea nga na-generate niya, nag-stop na sila for so many reasons or for whatever reasons they have. So here in decision making and business planning, it is now the first step of showing your commitment to be an entrepreneur. Kasi dito, magpaplano ka na, mag-iisip ka na kung saan mo kukunin yung finances that you need, pang kapital, yung mga equipment, ano yung mga ano ang product, paano ang packaging, paano ang operations, paano ang distribution. Because now here, you are going now to plan the flow of the business. Tapos ka na sa idea generation, alam mo na kung ano ang problem sa community, alam mo na kung ano ang solution. Yung solution ngayon, of course, if it is a good, yung natawag natin na ano nga yung term na yung I forgot the term, yung may physical substance, I mean yung I forgot the term. Basta yung may physical substance na makahawakan mo, ano ang itsura, ano ang packaging, solid ba siya, liquid or whatever. Of course, you need now to identify the product. We need now to define the product that you are going to make. And of course, what is the name? How are your packaging? How is your packaging? The marketing, and so on and so forth. So dito, maraming humihinto because it is now actually the real first step of being an entrepreneur. Kasi idea generation may be the first stage, but putting that idea into a plan now is actually a bigger step already. Okay? Number 3 is project creation. The project is conducted when the entrepreneur decides to seek and obtain resources. Getting financiation or financial sources is difficult and perhaps one of the main obstacles to start a business. When the entrepreneur begins to invest the resources and begin operating, it is a point release of stress as the entrepreneur will see the first steps of his company. So here now is the implementation. Sinabi nga dito that getting the needed resources, especially the financial resources, is difficult. Yun yung major reason ng mga Pinoy bakit hindi sila pumapasok sa negosyo. Wala daw pang kapital. Pero may pang load, may pang sigarilyo, may pang party, di ba? Yun yung common reason. Nga wala nang sulod sa negosyo because wala sang kapital. The capitalization or the financial resources is actually the most common use reason why people don't go or don't go into business. Di ba? Mahirap kasi yung pangkapital. Walang pangkapital. Now, here in the implementation or project creation, when it is already started, kung meron ng pangkapital, kompleto na ang gamit, example, equipment, and na-set up na tanan, yung first product na magagawa, especially if it is a product, parang nakaka-relieve siya ng stress ng entrepreneur because nakita niya that there is already a reality to his plan, a reality to the goal or to the plan that he set already. Diba? For example, makita mo na itong output sa imo, agad pa mo there, diba? Doon ka namin lang sa feeling. So, similar also to that. And the fourth is management and control. After having passed through the first months of operation, the company will see if it decreases, maintains, or increases in sales. The entrepreneur should strive to maintain revenue growth before worrying about having a nice office. Managing a business is not easy, but the experience that entrepreneurs acquire over time will surely ease the handling of all resources. Perhaps one could say that the entrepreneurial process ends here, but I think it is no longer an entrepreneur and he becomes a full businessman or businesswoman. Here, after na siya na-set up ang business, after na na-set up ang product, parang to ano siya, existing na ang operations. Of course, as what I have said in the previous meeting, that the first 6 months of operations is very vital because doon nga portion, doon mafe-feel ng isang small entrepreneur the losses pa. Hindi pa siya totally makaka-gain doon sa 6 months. If there is actually a study saying that if a business can survive after 6 months, then maybe kaya niya na. Because the 6 months period is a loss period pa siya. Parang wala, sa first month niya, wala pa siya usually sa customer or gamay-gamay lang ang customer niya, saka pa siya lalago. That is why in every businesses, if it is a product naman or if it is a goods naman usually, there are a lot of businesses that started sa backyard. Yung parang tinatawag natin yan sa balay lang, di ba? Usually kasi, pag maliit pa ang negosyo, sa balay lang anay. And then, pag okay na, gadako na ang income or continually okay ang sales or ang benta or ang mga customers continues sa pag-avail sa products and services, then doon na mag-isip niya, ay mapatindog na ito sa aton yung sarili ng pwesto, and then so on and so forth. Kung makapabala daw ano siya, di ba? Daw sari-sari store, maumpisa lang siya dati ice lang or ice candy. Tapos tama asang daw, okay ang benta. So nagpatindog siya sa kamay nga tindahan na. Meron sa mga toyo, langgaw, kamatis, meron sa mga chichirya, di ba? Ganon. Tapos pag medyo okay, nagbutang naman siya sa soft drinks. After sa soft drinks, may mga ilim nun na, mga Red Horse, San Miguel, Pilsen. Usually, ganun kasi yung growth ng isang sari-sari store na lumalago siya. So, similar to that, na lumalago siya, yun yung gina-explain dito sa management and control that we need now to do expansion or to continue. If there is growth already or promising na ang business, then of course, we need now to think of ways of how are we going to make it bigger. Okay? So that's the entirety of our short lesson. So thank you for listening to our lesson and hope to see you again by next meeting.